Hey everybody, so you've been wondering where I've been. I've put out a couple videos here and there. I have had so much going on between moving into this new place here. Work has been crazy. It's just making us work at least 10 hours, 12 hours a day. It's just been kind of crazy a little bit. And I do apologize. I miss Earl. I've been miss working on her. I have so many things to install on her and stuff like that. But the reason why this video is here, look at this. Yay! I put in this epoxy floor, and I'm going to show you what I did and everything else that's been going on. And so if you were here for Earl, I do apologize. Earl won't be in this video. So if that's what you were looking for, hey, what was that? Sounded like a bike. Yep, I think it was a bike. I do apologize, but Earl is just kind of waiting on moving over here. So let's get to the video. Okay, so this is actually going to be the new garage. So I want to do some things before we move all the vehicles in here and all the junk, which that's going to be another video where we, clean out that stuff and kind of get it, minimized, because we got a lot of, if you've been on with this channel for a while, we got a lot of stuff. So the first thing we got to do is actually clean this floor. So what we're going to do is, we're actually going to be installing this here Behr concrete and garage epoxy coating. It's a one part, so you don't have to do any mixing. You just literally just pour it into the bucket and go to applying it. But before we do this, so this is actually $43 per gallon, or you can get the 5-gallon one if you have a really big space, and that's $208. So you save like, I don't know, I'm not doing the math. You do the math. But before we do that, though, we actually have to clean, because we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of debris just everywhere, oil stains, things like that. So we'll sweep it out, blow it out, and then we'll hit it with the cleaner and rinse all that off, and then come back in with the clean and etch for the concrete and do that as well. And then after we get done with that, then we will go ahead and we got this crack right here. So we're gonna go ahead and fill in this crack the best we can. Some of the deep spots, we got some backer just to kind of fill in so it's not taking up a lot of space. And then we got some concrete sealant that's, the flexible caulk that will actually go in right there. And so, yeah, once we clean it, then we'll come through and we'll start doing like the, getting around the edges, like, things like this that don't necessarily want fully, coated, coming around these little posts right here, stuff like that one right there. And as you can see, look at all the dust and stuff. We got to get a lot of that out. I blew a lot of it out yesterday, but I need to do it again. So, go around these, around all that, around this. And then we can come back in and actually hit it with the roller. But we still have a lot to clean to do. So let's do that first. But places like this, sorry if it's loud, I'll try to tone it down. Okay, I just got done playing with the dog, sorry I'm out of breath. But now we just gotta sit here and break up all that we can. And then we're gonna hit it with the degreaser basically. So we gotta make sure we get this crack fully cleared out. It's nasty up in this area too. Yeah, so don't worry about getting all the dust out, because once you do this, the dust really doesn't have a chance in hell anymore. It actually has to come out at that point. So, like I said, I'm just gonna spray all this down. That way we can get this all, I got a squeegee to get everything out, all that good stuff. I didn't even notice this one crack right here, but I'm not really going to mess with it, honestly. I'm just going to leave it as it is. It does go all the way across, but It makes me think that if I have to put in a lift, that I'm gonna have to cut out the area and probably, you know, make a whole section that's nice and thick and won't fall over. So I do say that, see that it likes to puddle like right here. So that's gonna be a spot. Okay, so the first part of cleaning and degreasing went fine. Unfortunately, it did not take up the stain. You know, as long as it's not greasy, I don't give two shits. Because it's going to be covered. It's going to be dark enough that's going to cover it. Hopefully it adheres right there. It doesn't do that normal thing where if it's oily, it kind of like beads up. So I'm pretty sure I'm good right there. I scrubbed it really hard. All those spots like with like full strength. So the next thing we got to do is clean and etch. So this right here, they actually want you to put it into, mix it with a gallon of water and everything like that. Or sorry, what they want you to do is mix this with a gallon of water. What I am going to do is I'm going to water the entire area. Like I'm gonna do it in small sections. Do like this section, and you know, work my way over this way. Do a little section, and work my way down. So as you do it, you have to actually rinse it quite a few times because this is basically an acid of sorts. Basically, it helps the epoxy adhere, and it is safe for the environment. As you can see, it's just safe for plants and grass. So we're going to go and apply this and get this done. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. Now, this is not what they say to do. I mean, they say mix it in like a watering can and then adhere it, or then apply it. But the only watering can I have is the one I use for my plants. And I'm sorry, but I'm not doing that. When you're doing this, you don't actually want it to dry, and so you don't want it to be too hot when you're doing it. So if it's 100 and something degrees outside, it's not recommended that you do it. It actually, the epoxy itself has a working temperature of between 60 and 85 degrees. So if you're above that, maybe wait until fall or do it early spring. Don't do it in the middle of summer. Like down in the south, it gets hot. I guess you could probably try and do it at night, but you still have to let it cure and everything like that. So I don't know. It might not be best to just do it in the middle of summer. So, yeah, like I told you, I'm just going to... All right, now let's get this stuff in its areas. So, where's my brush? I'm gonna put you down. I gotta have both hands. We have now officially rinsed it. Look at that. Oh, concrete. Okay, that came out of here when I was spraying it out. So we've etched it. We've rinsed it several times. Now, the first time you rinse it, you will notice that more stuff comes off because you gotta think it's an acid basically. It is eating into the surface of it to allow the epoxy to adhere better. So you're gonna hear some sizzle. That's normal. When the sizzling stops, that's the time to go ahead and start rinsing it off and clearing it out, moving on to the next section, doing the same thing on that section, and then the next, and then you're gonna rinse the whole area like 3 or 4 times. When you get done, you do not want to smell, because this stuff has a smell to it. Like, so whenever you're done, you don't want to smell that anymore. That you'll know at least 3 times. Sometimes if you have a pressure washer, you can actually just rinse it off in one good felt swoop. But when you have a lot of crevices, it can be hard. So it's best to just go ahead and rinse it multiple times just so you get it all out of here. That being said, we now have to let it dry. Now I took the blower and all these little spots where they're low spots and stuff like that. I blew all those out after I squeegeed the whole area clear. And so we just got to let it just sit here and dry. And then when it's fully dry, it can take up to 24 hours to fully dry. So we're going to work on something else right now. We actually had to do some stuff on the decking right there. And so I actually have the stuff to do that as well. So I'm just going to basically come from right here out this way and then go back over here to this first post right here, and then this gate will actually just open up and be fine. This is just there so that That's Ginger right there. That's gonna be Lucy's new sister. Lucy and Bee's new sister. What's up, Ginge? What's up, girl? She's a cutie. She's a half pit, half American bulldog, and she's got a big old head. Yeah, big old head. So like I said, we're gonna come off from right here and go over that way, and then we have some that we'll actually be putting right here as well. And then there's gonna be a gate right here, basically, that goes across over to here, and that way we can just have that gated off, and they'll come out here and they can run directly over here, go into the backyard, and the backyard is fully, like I said, fully fenced in. Now we're not going to leave it this way. You'll notice that the fence, because it's just these wire fences are such a pain in the butt to actually install and get them to where they don't have any kind of like weird flex to them. So we'll actually be running 3 horizontal boards across, like, you know, from down there, it'd be like 1, then 2, then 3, and then capping off the top, and then we'll actually be securing this to the actual boards that are there. So once it's all said and done, it's going to be great. I built each one of these fences, or these gates, by hand. They're not really all that hard. I mean, it's a square with some support to give it some structural rigidity. These will also get the boards that go across as well. I still got to stain that, and a few other places I still have to stain, like right there and right there. So nothing major. But yeah, come back to you in just a second. Okay, so as you can see, we have completed it. And let me tell you, you would think that when you buy these prefab ones like this, that they would have prefab ones for the stairs right here, but they do not actually. And I thought I should build my own. Turns out I should have. As you can see, there's that's where they used to be recessed, and I tried on one of them. I tried like chiseling out the, like right here, you know, so that they could turn and whatnot. Like I was chiseling out this and this. Yeah, that didn't work. But this is my first deck. I think I did pretty good. I mean, I still have to stain all this stuff, you know, the English chestnut like everywhere else is. And this wasn't as far this way as it should have. As you can see, it kind of turns and goes that way ever so slightly. But you know what? That's stuff that I'll see, and I don't think anybody else is going to see it other than me. So unfortunately, it rained last night, and I found out that the water seeps in along right here, or well, it may just not have dried. It hasn't been really warm. There's the crack right here is still wet. Spots right there are still wet in the corner back there. And then this crack right here that I got to fill in, it is also still wet. So I will be working on this hopefully tomorrow. So let's cut to tomorrow. We still got some wet spots, but we're probably gonna have to do it, but you know, tomorrow or something like that while it dries. It rained again last night, yay. But we can go ahead and start filling in this here crack and putting down the caulk that's for the concrete, because that's gonna have to dry anyways as well. So we might as well go ahead and get started on that. So let's get to that. So basically what you're doing is you're trying to take up some of that gap. Some of these gaps are, you know, too big. Like this one, really, I don't know if it's going to stay there because it just wants to keep coming out. So I might go ahead and take that out. But these right here, we'll sit there and work it. It'll probably go in all through here and definitely up in that one right there. And we're just going to continue on. So basically, let me see if I can sit you up so you can see what I'm doing. Oh, I'll probably do it one-handed. So basically, yeah, you just, you know, you get it to a certain point and you just shove it in. I like a Phillips head because it's less likely to damage it. And it's rounded, you know, all that good stuff. So do this going along, and like I said, we'll just keep pushing that in. It just takes up some of the space that you're trying to fill in, so you're not having to use a bunch of the caulking. Woo! Got it done, man. It didn't take that long, but yeah, I went ahead and did all that crack, filling it with the backer like I showed you. And I had a lot of extra, so I found like little bitty tiny cracks. Went ahead and suffered that one right there. I didn't do that one, but I got stuff. Got all over here, got all over here. Still gotta wait for these spots like right over here to dry, right there, and things like that. So, and this has 24 hours to cure. Well, it says within after 2 hours, you can actually paint over it. So we'll check back in 2 hours, see if that's okay. So it is now nighttime, and you know the caulking has cured to a point that I can actually paint over it now. I've blown this out again many times because it seems like everything, if I've needed it, has been in this garage, and so I've had to walk across it. And then it's rained so many times, so it's just life. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and start putting down this epoxy floor. So one of the things we're gonna need to do is get around places like this and this, and just places like that, like there, and things of that nature. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out, and then show you what I'm gonna do with the rolling on. It's pretty easy. The prep is what really matters. So if you do the prep right, then the finished product is gonna be great. So just follow the prep, and you're good. But like I said, let me get to that. Well, apparently one of those gallons is not enough. It said 500 square feet, but it did 300 square feet maybe, which I kind of suspected, but it's okay. We'll come back in, and tomorrow I'm gonna get another one, and we'll finish it up coming this way. But other than that, I mean, that looks great. I mean, y'all remember what it looked like before? Shoot, that looks good. So let's cut to tomorrow. All right, it is done, and I of course worked myself to a point that I can't get in there and physically touch it. So everything from this line all the way up and a little bit over that way, because it looked a little light right over there. So I went ahead and I was gonna have extra, so I made sure I covered. And then I had to buy another thing of the speckle, so I was just like, all right, because we kind of went heavy over there. Not as heavy as I did over here a little bit, but I think a lot of this is actually going to come up whenever at the end once it dries and we brush it. You know, we got to sweep it after it's done. And a lot of these ones that didn't actually adhere are going to come up, and we'll sweep those up. And it won't necessarily look exactly like this, but it'll be close. But this is everything. In the end, it really took me like a gallon and a half, but they don't sell half gallons, so 2 gallons really. And then you want to get, if you can't find the epoxy rollers, which I could not at any of the places I went to, I ended up getting a 1/2 inch nap, which is like the thickness of the foam, and then just a non-shedding one, so that it wasn't putting off any stuff whenever I was rolling. And it seemed to work fantastic. You want to put a line down right here so that you get a nice hard line whenever you pull it up. I went in the garage, obviously it'll be right along right there, but I wanted it to stick out just a little bit. I don't know why. Some people, you come out all the way out to here. I felt that like that was a bit much. We didn't really have to go that far out. And then that freaking caulk that I put down, that stuff did not want to dry. That was another reason why we stopped. We started doing it right here, and it was coming up. It was still wet, like completely. And it said after 2 hours that it would be paintable. And it was not that thick right there, because I put that backer rod in, and it ended up taking, hell, it was a little tacky this morning as well. And it's been like 80s, 90s this weekend, so I don't know why it's taking so long to cure. I ended up taking a brush over it, so I don't know if it's going to cure, but hopefully, eventually it will. Great thing is that it has a lot more space. It's actually 2 foot wider and 2 foot longer than the garage that we are currently in right now. So it's going to be good for pulling motors, just all around, having space to just move around the vehicles, because at the other one, they were just really close together. You opened the door, you were almost hitting the other vehicle. They were so close together. So this is going to be nice. But like I said, that's going to do it, and we'll have another video here soon. Hopefully, like I said, I've been working on starting Earl. I've been cleaning the garage up so I could find the keys possibly, because you have to have the keys to unlock the ignition to replace the ignition. So it's pointless for me to buy the ignition when I can't do it. I could probably do the car thief way and just hammer a flathead in there, but I don't want to violate Earl in that nature, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm just gonna, they're there somewhere, they have to be. So I'm cleaning up, and we're gonna be moving Earl over here soon, and hopefully in that video I can crank her up to pull her onto the to the trailer, because she should be able to at least do that little bit. So like I said, Later, guys, and thank you guys for all the support you've shown, and let's keep building this channel. I don't know how far we're going to go, but hey, you know, whatever.